What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Vince Shizzle back with another banger. In today's video, I will be going over the best shooting badges in all of NBA 2K23. These badges will have you greening from all over the court and will help you become an all-around better player at every single position. Without wasting any time, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so jumping right into the shooting badges, let's start with Agent 3. Now, Agent 3, in my opinion, is the best shooting badge in all of NBA 2K23. If you are running point guard, you are going to want to run this badge at the highest tier. Obviously, it does not only help you with pull-up shots or stop and pop three-pointers, but also if you're fading or doing any type of running shot from the three-point line, this badge is going to help tremendously. This is one of the most overpowered badges in the whole entire game. I definitely recommend using this, especially if you're a point guard. Moving on to catch and shoot. Now, this is definitely going to be a good spot-up badge to have. If you are a lockdown or if you are a big man that's spotting up, catch and shoot is definitely a no-brainer, and you're definitely going to want to turn this on the highest tier. Pretty much just for spot ups. I am running point guard on this build. I have had no problem catching and shooting, so I don't turn it on. If I was running lock or I was running big man, I would have it on though, so you guys definitely want to keep that in mind. Alright, so moving on to comeback kid. Now, this is probably more of a lower tier badge, guys. I wouldn't recommend making this your first priority, but if you do have a couple extra badge points to spare, it's probably not a bad badge to put on. If you are trailing in the game, it does give you a boost to your mid-range and three-point shots, so not a bad badge to try, but I would definitely stick to the priorities first, and if you have extra badge points, wouldn't hurt to put on comeback kid. Moving on to green machine. Now, that was a badge that was really ran on bronze all year. For me, it was a lot easier to green shots in 2K22. We are now in 2K23. It's a lot harder to shoot in this game. I recommend running it on silver. If it works better for you on gold, you definitely can do that as well, but I like the sweet spot to be silver. I have no problem greening my shots at the moment, so I'm going to stick with silver. Moving on to midi magician. Now, I haven't put this badge on yet. I have seen a couple people use it. It is pretty overpowered, but me personally, I don't have a problem hitting my mid-range shots, so I choose to turn it off. But this is also a good badge if you do a lot of fadeaways in the mid-range game. It does not hurt to put on midi magician. As we get down to volume shooter, this is a very good badge, especially if you're grinding your my career badges. If you don't have all your shooting badges and you're grinding my career, it's a very good badge for my career. But not only my career, but after you shoot a few shots in park, this does activate, so I do like to run it on silver, as it does seem to give me a very good boost in greening my shots, especially after I shoot about 3 shots. I noticed I start greening more, and it helps me a lot, so I would definitely run volume shooter at least on silver. Now, amped is an extremely important badge, guys. Obviously, if you're running point guard, you are going to want to have this as high as you possibly can. This game is very dependent on stamina, and amped helps you shoot a lot better when you lose stamina, so you want to keep this on, especially if you're primary ball handler. Now, if you're playing spot up, it's not as much of a big a deal, but even if you're doing pick and pops and you're the big man and you're running around the court, you still can lose stamina, so I would definitely run amped on at least maybe even bronze or silver if you're a spot up. But if you are the primary ball handler and you are playing point guard, you must have amp turned all the way up. Moving on to Claymore. Now, this is also a new badge that has been added this year. I do like the addition of this badge. Obviously, this is going to be a spot up badge. It increases the ability to knock down perimeter shots while spotting up patiently. So if you're playing with an ISO player, or if you're on the twos course, you got a guy ISOing up and you're just sitting corner waiting on that pass, you will want to have Claymore as high as you possibly can. Now, if you are the primary ball handler, you are the point guard, it would probably be wise not to put this badge on at all, as you are going to have the ball mostly in your hands, so you're not going to be sitting in the corner waiting. So I would keep Claymore off if you're the point guard, but if you're a spot up, I would max it as high as I possibly can. Alright, and just like Claymore, corner specialist is very, very similar. Obviously, it's another spot up badge, so if you are the point guard, you are the primary ball handler, this is another badge I probably would not advise putting on. Now, if I am the big man or I am the lock and I'm spotting up in the corner and I'm waiting on that pass for the corner 3, I'm definitely going to max this badge out. Obviously, you're going to want it on the highest tier possible, but if you're playing point guard, then there really is no need for corner specialist. It does help with corner fades if you are going to fade in the corner, but that would be the only reason you would really want to put it on if you are playing point guard. Moving on to guard up. Now, this is a very important badge, especially if you are playing point guard as well. This increases the ability to make jump shots when defenders fail to properly contest. So this is going to help you with a lot of contested shots. Obviously, you guys are going to want to put this on the highest tier if you are running point guard. I do run it on gold. I've had no problems with this badge at all. I've had no problems with anybody contesting me. It's a very broken badge and it helps you shoot over almost anybody. I would highly recommend to put this on gold. Moving to slippery off ball. Now, this is not a badge I run. Once again, if you are a spot up or if you're moving around picks or something, if you're playing a rec, this may be a nice badge to use, but as far far as Park, I have not seen any use for it, so I choose to leave this one off. Alright guys, so moving on to blinders. I have not ran blinders very high this year. I've ran it on silver only. I have had it come up a couple of times on some threes that where they were on the side of me, but I haven't seen it make too much of an impact. Obviously in 2K22 it was the most broken badge next to sniper, so this was very, very important last year. In this year's game, silver seems to give me very good success. I've made a couple threes just due to blinders alone, so I keep it on silver. If I see something game breaking or if there is a patch in the future that makes me change it, I will, but right at the moment now I am running it on silver. Moving on to clutch shooter, I do run that on silver as well. Obviously I have extra badges to spare, so I do run that on silver. Anybody who's unfamiliar with clutch shooter, when the score gets to 15 in park, because I'm a big park player, also in the fourth quarter of rec games, but when the score gets to 15 points in park, clutch shooter will activate. So it's a very important badge if you're trying to hit that last shot in park. If your team's trying to win the game falls on the line and you have to take the last shot, it's a very, very good badge to equip. I tend to run it on silver, but that is due to me having a lot of extra shooting badges. Moving on to Deadeye. I have not tried Deadeye yet this year. I haven't really had any problems with contests yet, so as of right now, I'm not running Deadeye. You guys can try the badge yourselves, but until I see a patch or something that makes the contest a little bit more heavy, maybe it's because people have not gotten Gold Challenger yet, but I have not had to run Deadeye at all this year, so I'm just gonna skip Deadeye. Moving on to Limitless Range. This is a very, very important badge this year. I feel like you can shoot really, really deep in this game. Last year, obviously you had to run Chef very, very high. Limitless Range is a badge that has been in the past in 2K, and I'm a very big fan of this badge. I have an 89 3 ball, and I shoot from behind half court, so this badge is extremely broken, so make sure you guys definitely add Limitless Range. Finally, we move to Space Creator. Now, I do run Space Creator on silver. I wouldn't say it's a priority badge, but like I mentioned, I have 28 shooting badges. I do have some shooting badges to spare. I do like doing a lot of step backs, so Space Creator is a good badge if you do like creating space and then shooting off of the space that you create. So I chose to run it on silver. You guys can play with the badge a little bit. It will activate some ankle breaker animations as well, so it's a very good badge to run, so I prefer to run it on silver. Alright guys, now that we went over every single shooting badge in NBA 2K23, I hope this video helped every single person watching. Be sure to drop a like on this video, hit that sub button, feel free to leave a comment below of what your favorite shooting badge is in all of NBA 2K23. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.